Hi, and welcome back to our kitchen. Come on in and sit right down. Today I'm going to show you some fried green tomatoes because it's summertime. And what comes with summertime? Vegetables. So I'm going to show you some fried green tomatoes with a little bit of a twist. It's going to be fried green barbecue tomatoes, gluten-free. So I'm going to show you how it's done. Come on in and I'll show you. Okay, I'm going to take my tomatoes and I cleaned them already, and I'm going to take the stem part off. And I'm going to leave this on here. That's not a big deal. It's nothing, I mean, you can eat it. A lot of people get rid of it. I don't. Now I got to take the stem out because as you can see it's still in there. So I'm just going to take my little knife. Now this can be done with a regular steak knife. I just have this bent knife that I got, and I do a lot of my peppers with this because it's real sharp for the skin. Plus I can take out those membranes easier. But you don't have to have one of these. You can just use a steak knife. I'm going to cut these 1/4 inch, best I can. Now I have 4 tomatoes here. I was so jazzed when I saw them, I couldn't believe it. I haven't made fried green tomatoes probably for 15 years. And no more than that. Anyway, I cut them 1/4 inch, and I'm going to do another one. Take the stem out, just stick it in there and go around like this. Put that over here. Then I'm going to do 1/4 inch with this. Now if you get a little bit thicker, don't worry about it. It's not going to hurt anything. My cutting's kind of crooked, which is not a big deal. I can take this one and hold it like this. These are hard, so be careful. You don't want to cut your fingers. Now see, I didn't cut that very good, but I'm going to put these on a paper towel lined cookie sheet. You can do it on your counter if it's clean. Put some paper towels down and put these on there. And let me see how many I can get on here. The reason behind this is we want to get all the liquid out of those tomatoes that we can because they're very liquidy. I have room for another tomato. Let me get that. Missed the label. I hate that. That one doesn't have a stem. I cut it a little bit thick. So 1/4 inch. Getting there. I might be able to get the last tomato. We'll see. Yeah, I'll get it on there. Now these pieces, I'm going to bread them and cook them. They're going to look different because I'm going to cut them like this. And I'll save those till last after I'm done cooking the slices, because of course they're thicker and I want to make sure that I cook them longer. Couple more slices and I got enough room. One more. See if I can get this. There we go. A little bit thick on that one, but that's okay. Now, they say to put salt, sprinkle salt on the top of them, and then sprinkle them salt on the bottom of them, and I'm just going to do one side. I don't know if it needs that much salt. And then you let it sit for 10 minutes. And then you take another paper towel and put it on the top and press down and get as much of that liquid out as you can. I'll be right back. Okay, when you're salting your tomatoes, try to get the coarser salt, the kosher, and you want to hold your hand up and sprinkle it over top. That way you're not getting too much salt on one tomato. Okay, now we have our mix. And what I have here is gluten-free cornstarch with a teaspoon of baking powder. And here we have the wet, which is going to be 2 eggs. Take a fork, break it up and stir it around. And then this is a cup of buttermilk that's made with almond milk and a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. That's the only way that, being dairy free, you can have buttermilk. And if you're not dairy free, use regular milk, the same ingredient of the apple cider vinegar, and then or you can buy buttermilk. Okay, the third one is brown rice flour, which I made this darker for another recipe and I kept the leftovers. Brown rice flour, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add half a cup of cornmeal, and then here's what makes it barbecue. I have some barbecue rub here. I made this myself, but if you have a favorite brand that you like, that comes in a grocery store, you can use that, or if you don't have any of that, use a teaspoon of paprika. It can be smoked, that's what I like, smoked paprika or sweet. And then a teaspoon of garlic powder, teaspoon of onion powder, and a teaspoon of pepper. And that'll make your barbecue seasoning for you. And now we're going to start dipping. Now I need to get these over into the oil, so I'm going to have to show you how I do it and then move all these over by the stove. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our tomatoes. I'm going to press out the water. Get as much water out as I can. You can actually use tea towels for this too, or any kind of kitchen towel that doesn't have fuzz to it, something that's plain, if you don't want to use so many paper towels. Okay, now we're going to start our dipping process. I'm going to take a tomato and I'm going to dip it in the cornstarch. Now why don't I put it in a plastic bag and shake the bag like I did on my onion rings? Because tomatoes are so watery, I don't think it would work. You might want to try it if you want to. Shake the excess cornstarch off. Go into your liquid, put it in there, and then go over to your dry mix. You can also use a fork for this. I like to pat it down so it really gets into that tomato. And I'm going to shake it off, make sure the sides are coated. You can go like this. And then I'm going to put it on a plate, take it over, and I'll show you how we cook it. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm using canola oil today because that's the only thing I have right now. You can use any kind of frying oil that you like. I'm going to do my first tomato first, the one I showed you. And I'm going to put it in here and see. Yeah, it's bubbling real good. Now watch them. You're breading. If it gets too hot, it'll burn them. So I'm going to continue on with all the slices. First the cornstarch. Get it on the sides. Then your liquid. and then your barbecue rice flour with the cornstarch. And we'll keep going until all these are done. I'll show you in a minute what they look like. I like the cornstarch because it makes it crispy, and of course the cornmeal does too. I've got this on 7. I'm going to turn it down a little bit to 6 and see, because I don't want them to burn. It's starting to smell really good in here. And I think I can get another piece in there. Whoops. A lot of people don't use the cornstarch. This is my method because it's gluten-free. And if you don't have cornstarch, you can use all-purpose gluten-free flour of your choice. I actually think I can get one more. I don't want to crowd them too much. Two, 3. Cover them on every side. There we go. I'm going to check this one. This is my first one. Yeah, I'm going to turn that one over. A couple of minutes on each side. And to tell if they're done, whoa. I stick a fork in them and see if they're tender. There we go. I'll be back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put them on a paper towel lined cookie sheet that has a rack over it. If you don't have the racks, just put the paper towels down, it'll be fine. And let them drain the oil off of them. I'll come back in a minute. Here they are. They're crispy and cooked all the way through. And what I did is I made some ranch dressing because of the dairy-free factor. I used a cup of mayonnaise, and I actually used my homemade ranch mix. I can't get this off of here very good, but anyway, I used that, and you can use your Hidden Valley ranch dressing mix. If you don't have a problem with dairy, dip this in it or put it over the top and let me taste it. Crunchy. Green tomatoes are like eating a tart zucchini. It's got a little bit of tartness to it. So don't forget to stay tuned for our cocktail recipe, cocktail mocktail, at the end. And I'm going to say goodbye now because I'm ready to eat. And just come in and see us next time on my next video. I don't know what I'll have yet, but it'll be exciting. See you later. Bye. Okay, the drink that I'm going to make today is actually a Arnold Palmer drink. Now, if you go back, most people know what that means. It was invented on a golf course somewhere. And of course it was named after Arnold Palmer, the great golfer. And what it is half lemonade, half iced tea. Now, you can make this without alcohol, but my choice is vodka. And if you're gluten-free, look for the Tito's or the Smirnoff that has the red label. They're both gluten-free. Now I added some ice to a glass. I'm going to put this over it. Decorate it a little bit. And enjoy. See you later.